going. Welcome back to our big broadcast. We are live, coast to coast, border to border on iHeartRadio today, AMFM, 247.com. Talk shoe. We don't give enough love to talk shoe here, as the kids say. I gotta give love. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means to play us out, as Bill O'Reilly would say. All right, Bill O'Reilly. How come he's not dead yet? I'm not wishing death on Bill O'Reilly. I'm not wishing death on Bill O'Reilly. No. I'm not wishing death on Bill O'Reilly. I like Bill. I wish I could do a cable show like Bill. I try. I fail miserably, but I try. Get a hold of us online at JiggyJaguar.com. That's right, JiggyJaguar.com. Lots of things happening, as they say. Thanks for listening to us here on the stream. We got all sorts of things happening here. All sorts of things happening here. We're going to go back to the Skype and see if we can get Pam Oakes. And find out. There. There she is.
How you doing?
How are you?
A lot warmer than you guys. Wow. Those are some pretty impressive numbers, let me tell you.
Well, you know,
and
I always think it's funny when the we go out to Vegas every year. Obviously, we're not going to go this year till the summer, unfortunately. But which is good because I think it's going to be 1,000 degrees out there, which I absolutely love. But there was one time we went out there and my mother went into a quilt store and they were getting ready to put on jackets because it was getting ready to be 50 degrees. And she's like, that's like nothing back where I'm from. So
50 degrees, they're putting jackets on?
Yes, they're putting jackets on and shivering and all that stuff. But I do like the wind chimes behind you, my friend. That is pretty cool. You have wind chimes.
Yes, we have wind chimes. I'm not going to tell you what the temp is here because I don't want you to hang up.
Oh, it's probably 60s, 70s. Let's hope 80s.
Yeah, high 70s.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. So Pam,
we're going to have our portion of the cold front through.
What do you have for us today with all this cold weather and all the shenanigans? What do you have for us today, my friend?
Well, it's pretty cold. Let's just face it. All around the U.S. It doesn't matter if you're there or you're in the east. I was talking to somebody in Lansdale, Pennsylvania yesterday. They were expecting this so-called blizzard storm overnight, and I'm sure they got it. And I was trying to get something shipped out actually from Little Rock the last 2 days, nothing doing until the weekend.
Wow.
So we have the snow, we're bunkered down. Unfortunately, some of us poor souls have lost power. Just stay put, okay? Don't think you're going to go sit in your car, turn it on, and warm up because...
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the downside of this. First of all, you can't keep it in your garage, right? Asphyxiation, carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yep.
Part two of that is people don't realize what condition their exhaust is in. And so even if the vehicle's a couple of years old, exposure to road salt, road chemical from the cold weather, it'll actually pit the exhaust and you'll have these little micro exhaust leaks.
Wow.
And after a period of time, it can, when you're sitting in the vehicle, it can actually come up through the floorboard because the vehicle's not hermetically sealed. And you'll get a little dopey and say, well, I'm warming up, I'm getting dopey, and you fall asleep for the last time. There's an actual horror story, was it a couple of years back, where a individual, he happened to be a police officer. They had a big blizzard in Boston. Remember that year and all they had was snow.
Yes. Yes.
Well, he put his kid in the vehicle, just bought the vehicle maybe 6 months before, turned the car on, warmed it up, and he was shoveling snow, and he had an exhaust leak, and the kid passed away.
Holy smokes.
So if that is the last resort, make sure the vehicle's outside. And part 2, you keep the window cracked just a little bit. And I know it's cold. I understand, but still, we don't want to run that risk.
Wow.
So please be aware when you are using your vehicle as an alternative furnace source that this can happen. And make sure the vehicle is completely out of the garage.
Wow. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that are doing this. I'm going to go warm up the car nonsense. And
Yeah.
that is just a recipe for disaster with the fumes and the garage and all the nonsense.
You know, you don't think about it because when we travel in the vehicle, you're going A to B. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And you just don't think about the circumstances, the consequences. You do have just even a little minor exhaust leak, what can happen.
Yes.
Now, part 2, you guys are going to warm up, right? Hopefully. You're going to warm up
Maybe.
in a couple of days?
Maybe.
Where's that snow going to go? It's going to melt, right?
Well, and that's what I keep thinking about is the flooding.
And part 2 of this is when you're driving through the slush and the standing water, you don't drive through standing water. Remember, they always say, turn around, don't drown. Please.
I have seen way too many morons, and pretty much it's all the morons in Hutchinson, Kansas. But driving laws here are pure suggestion. But the stopping at stoplights, all these things, it's pure suggestion for these folks. Now, I have seen on many occasions it flood, and people just drive right through it.
Right through.
I just don't understand that.
Me neither, because you think, well, maybe it's just an inch or two, and maybe it really is, okay? Well, what is that going to do to my car? Well, guess what? That water, that nasty water, because it's not clean water, guys. It's mixed in with everything else, is getting in brake calipers, the steering and suspension parts, right? It's flooding them out that aren't supposed to be wet all the time.
Yep.
Subjected to immersion. And so what are we going to be doing then? We're going to be doing steering and suspension parts. We're going to be doing brakes to start with. And that's maybe an inch. And remember, for just an average sized car, if the water is between 14 and 18 inches up, it'll actually float the car.
Wow.
Average size can. Doesn't take much.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. You get a
wow.
in trouble.
Wow.
Aren't I just Miss Happy today?
Well, I think it's amazing that the whole thing about floating the car, that I think is.
Yeah, the car will move, so please.
Wow.
Turn around, don't drown, and if you're going to use your vehicle for an alternative heat source, make sure the vehicle's completely outside. And if you're going to be in there for longer than 10-15 minutes, make sure that window's cracked.
So
we don't want to take the risk.
You don't want to take the risk. That is definitely something that you don't want to do. And I will have to say that the people that are dealing with all this all these shenanigans and everything. I had a guy on a couple weeks ago. He was talking about snow throwers, because of course snowblower I think is a registered service mark of somebody. So he was talking about snow throwing, but he was talking about one of the things that he said during the interview was, don't put your hand in the snow thrower while it's on. And I'm like, I just don't understand this. And so, like, when you're talking about, turn around, don't drown, and I'm like, I still see people doing this. What is the deal? do they think they're gonna be the one that's gonna beat this whole thing?
Yes. What's the name of that group? They have that award every year for the stupidity when it comes to consumer directions on products.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know I don't know the term, but I know the deal. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
we had a tech one time, and true story, he was getting dental work done. The dentist committed suicide.
Jesus.
So it was
Hell
really
of a deal.
bothering him. He's trying to find another dentist, and it was uneven. So he took his Dremel out before the directions said not to, and he was grinding his teeth with the Dremel. So it was,
Good Lord.
and we're like, "What are you doing?" And he says, "This is really bothering me." And I'm like, "No, stop, help, please, no." You know, it's like, forget it. He did it. Yeah, made more of a mess, but when he went to his new dentist, but yeah, I'm trying to think of the name of that group. And of course, once we say goodbye to each other, I'm going to remember it in a half hour from now. But that's my whole day's been like that today. It's like, what is this? I feel like my grandfather. Huh? What? Yeah, I'll remember. Going through life, I was known as Bev, Karen, Pam. You just go down the line.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, at least you're not like Gary or you know, they just call you whatever.
Whatever going on here. I know you. I've seen you live here.
Well, I will let you get back to your palatial estate there in the background, and I will.
I wanted to give you some green to look at.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Well, I appreciate it, and I will talk to you next week, my friend. Thank you.
I can't wait. Stay safe, everybody, and keep warm.
Definitely.
Keep warm. Our good thoughts and prayers go your way.
Yes, indeed. Well, Pam, have yourself a wonderful day, my friend.
You too. Take care.
There
Bye-bye.
she goes, the great Pam Oakes, and you can get her book on findmeautohelp.com. We never got a chance to talk about the book, but you can go over to findmeautohelp.com. Check it out.